asking for your blessing upon our city, our county, our state, and our country. Lord, I ask that you be with all of our leaders tonight, guide us in the decisions we make, and help us to seek your wisdom and make choices that are pleasing in your sight. Remind us always to put the needs of our citizens first, to consider each person, each family, and the ways our decisions may affect their lives each and every day. Lord, thank you for hearing our prayers and for the privilege of serving our community. May everything we do be guided by wisdom, compassion, and a desire to serve others. It is in Jesus' precious and holy name that I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
God bless Texas. All right. Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, moving into our agenda item number 2. This is our public comment section. Ms. Gordon?
Mayor, we do not have anyone signed up for public comment this evening.
Very well. We'll move into agenda item number 3. This is council and city manager comments. Ms. Gordon?
No comments.
No comments at this time. Council, the floor is open for any comments from the council. If there are none. Councilman Omby?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that the chamber's open for their leadership rock wall, class of 26, 27, and I know we have one of our council women that is going to apply really closely, and heard today that we may have our very own Chief Siri as well in your class also. So I just wanted to congratulate you two on the process, and we'll see if we can get you in.
Very good.
You never know.
All right. Any other councilman comments? If there are none, at this time we'll move into agenda item number 4. This is our consent agenda. 4.8, action regarding the minutes of the August 5th, 2026 special meeting, August 11th, 2026 regular meeting, and the August 17th, 2026 special meeting. At this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move to approve the consent agenda item 4A and the minutes of the August 5th, August 11th, and August 17th City Council meeting as presented.
Very good. Thank you,
I'll second.
Councilwoman. Second. Councilman Omby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into agenda item number 5. This is a public hearing. So 5.A, we will conduct a public hearing and act on an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Heath, Texas, amending Chapter 159.26B, MF 8. That is a high-density multifamily residential district, and Chapter 159.42, definitions of the Heath Code of Ordinances to establish appropriate development regulations for HUD code manufactured homes or housing, and provide a definition of HUD code manufactured home and an amended definition of mobile home. Mr. King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you noted, we've got a zoning text amendment before you here tonight. This is something that is stemming from action taken by the 89th Texas Legislature in 2025. So they approved at that time Senate Bill 785, and for those that may be unfamiliar, that Senate bill amended Chapter 1201 of the Texas Occupations Code to specifically require cities across the state of Texas to permit HUD code manufactured homes by right in at least one residential zoning district. So this action was part of their push, their affordable housing push during the last legislative session. But it is something that is statewide. It's a mandate. It's a requirement for all cities to comply. It actually becomes effective September 1st, so next week, a week from today. As far as Heath is concerned, we don't currently permit HUD code manufactured homes by right in any zoning districts within the city, so that has led us to this point in which we do need to consider amendment to our zoning ordinance to make sure we're in compliance with state law. So the text amendment before you here tonight that's detailed in your packet, I'll provide a brief overview, but just want to note it's limited and narrow in scope to ensure that we're just getting into the ordinance surgically and making sure we're strictly in compliance with state law. it does three specific things. The first item it covers is establishing a clear definition for HUD code manufactured homes to make sure there's no ambiguity about exactly what we're talking about. Adds that definition to the appropriate section of our zoning ordinance. The second thing it does is amends the existing definition for mobile homes in our zoning ordinance. So mobile homes, they're currently prohibited in Heath. They're going to remain prohibited in Heath. This amendment would just add a little additional information to that definition to make sure we can clearly distinguish mobile homes from HUD code manufactured homes. There's a few differences between them, but it boils down to a couple things I'll cover. Any of those old school, traditional, pre-manufactured or mobile homes that you can picture in your mind, those built before 1976, those fall within the definition of mobile home. They're prohibited, and generally speaking, mobile homes are readily towable, so to speak, is a good way to think about it. You may identify a mobile home as something that still has wheels attached to a chassis and could be readily towable versus a HUD code manufactured home, which is intended to be situated more on a permanent foundation once it's delivered and assembled on a site. The third thing this ordinance does is identifies the specific existing zoning district within the Heath zoning ordinance where we're proposing to have this type of home, the HUD code manufactured home, as a permitted use. And we've identified the MF8, the high density residential district, as the most appropriate existing district for this use. There's a few reasons for that. The MF8 district is our highest density zoning district in town. The 8 in MF8 actually stands for the maximum dwelling units per acre that would be allowed, which is 8 in this district. This district already permits multifamily housing as well as townhomes and duplexes. Because of that, it has development standards that are pre-existing in our zoning ordinance that lend themselves better to this type of higher density dwelling types. Those development standards include items like setbacks, for example, where they're designed to be more appropriate for this higher density use to create a buffer from some of our traditional residential neighborhoods. Here on screen on the left in blue, you'll note that is our MF8 district that currently exists in the city of Heath. We have one primary property, about 15 acres in size, on the far north side of town by Rainbow Lake off of Medical Drive here that is under the zoning classification. It's currently undeveloped at this time. So as far as public notices are concerned, we did issue the required public notices for this item in July 27th, but didn't end up receiving any formal letters of support or opposition to the request, so you'll find no feedback in your packet about this item. That leads us to our recommendations section. As far as staff is concerned, we are recommending approval of the zoning text amendment as presented. It's something we think is tailored appropriately to ensure compliance with state law while still allowing us to utilize what zoning authority we do have to make sure we regulate these types of dwellings appropriately. The Planning and Zoning Commission at their August 13th meeting did move in a 5-2 vote to recommend approval of the zoning change amendment as presented. And that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions you may have.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. King. We'll go ahead and move into public hearing, and then we'll open up for discussion. So at this time, we will go into a public hearing at 6:39. If there are any residents that would like to speak for or against this item, please feel free to stand and take the lectern. If there is no one here to speak, I would like it to turn into a different minute before I close the public hearing for the record as we wait. It's always good to have it on the record that, hey, we wanted to make sure in case somebody was getting out of their car and they really wanted to run in here, we're not trying to go too quick. Very well. We will close the public hearing at 6:40. All right, at this time, we will open the floor to discuss. The one thing that I would like to point out, I would start off with Senator Bob Hall. This is a Senate bill. This was passed. He did vote yay on this item. I don't believe he had reached out to anybody on staff, or he definitely didn't reach out to myself. I don't know about anybody else on council, but he did vote yay at the Senate level. And then Katrina Pearson, our House representative, she did vote nay on this item. So I think it's important that everybody understands how your state representatives have voted on this. This is, again, one of those items that we see at the municipal city level, to where zoning powers tend to sometimes vacate our abilities. And so we've had to look for a solution for this affordable housing mandate. And we started looking at across all the different future land use of the city of Heath. And obviously Heath is very dynamically different, as I get the opportunity to talk to mayors all across Northeast Texas. And I have the opportunity to say, hey, look, we're really more rural estates, and then we are kind of our lowest standard is 1 home on 1 acre. And but we do have a future land area that's been dedicated to this type of affordable housing opportunities, and it's been there for a very long time. I even reached out to some past council members, in fact, past Mayor Pro Tem, and kind of asked them, in their terms, they kept this and said, hey, this is what that's for. And I thought that this was a great recommendation by staff to say, hey, this would be a small footprint that would allow for that potential opportunity. That doesn't mean that that's actually what will go there. That just means that, hey, we need to make sure that we have this codified within our ordinances. At this time, the floor is open for any discussion, council. Councilman Dotson?
Mr. Mayor, I think you know my feeling on this. I feel as though this is an egregious overreach by the state. I think this is one in a long line of reclaiming zoning for people in Austin who feel as though that they know what's best for municipalities through the state, when many of them have never even governed in municipalities in this state or in any other. We were not consulted on this. We were not queried. There were no forums on this as well, even though this particular bill had made its way into committee on 4 different occasions. And as you mentioned, our state senator clearly voted for this and continues to advocate for zoning control in Austin, and our state representative did not. I think this is zoning encroachment, plain and simple, and this equates to a state taking, much like you would a regulatory taking if we're looking for easements or anything else. And no one likes to be put upon without actually being consulted or actually having a say or a seat at the table, and in neither case did that take place here. So I recognize that this is a state mandate and that staff didn't have anything to do with this. I know that council had nothing to do with this, and unfortunately nobody in the city of Heath had anything to do with this either. So I wanted to make that statement.
Very well. Any other discussion, council? Councilman Omby?
This is 7+ years of Austin telling us what to do, and it's very tiresome. We spend some time in Austin, but testifying and things of that nature, but we need more people down there doing that exact same thing. We need some representation down there more routinely, regularly. Our ability to travel down there as busy people volunteering for the city is limited. But technically by right, they have the ability to give us whatever authority they like, but 7 years of telling us what materials and now encroaching on our zoning, it's egregious is the word, so my comment.
All right. Councilman Myers?
I got a question, Zach. You said mobile homes will still be not allowed in Heath. Okay, if somebody purchases a mobile home and they move it to the HUD district, they take the wheels off and the tongue. What is the difference? Is that a HUD home then, or is it still a mobile home?
If it is a mobile home when they purchase it in this example, it's going to still be a mobile home when they get it here. They're HUD code manufactured home. It's defined by the state and by some federal parameters as well. It's very specific. So in a scenario, for example, where we've got new construction that can meet the criteria or the definition for a HUD code manufactured home, that's where this could be applicable.
But couldn't it still be technically considered a mobile home? It wasn't built on the space, it was moved there, is what you're saying. It could be moved there.
HUD code manufactured homes, this brings up a good point, are, they are intended to be movable and transported to a particular site for their permanent build. They may come in as a whole or in multiple pieces. There's a variety of different types, but they are, a few key elements do need to have a permanent foundation of some type, for example, permanent utility hookups. Those are items that are covered by the definition that help us kind of narrowly define and distinguish between a HUD code manufactured home and a mobile home.
I understand what you're saying, but even that, even a mobile home, if you put it on a permanent foundation, you pour a concrete footer all the way around it, you run the power in on a power line, a lot of times that's considered a dwelling. It's not considered a mobile home at that point, but it still is a mobile home.
These are all dwelling types, yes, yeah, correct.
Okay, very good.
Tiny homes and shipping containers, Johnny.
Yes.
And they do make some really nice manufactured homes. I would like to put that out there.
Quick, one other question, Mayor. What is the consequence of not adopting this? What is the consequence with the state?
You have to adopt it.
We
it's
don't
state
have a
law.
choice.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Comments? All right, very well. So at this time, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
Make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve the ordinance amendment as presented.
Very well. We have a motion on the floor as stated. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilman Mormon. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay. It passes, and Councilman Myers and Councilman Dodson are nays on that. Very well. All right, at this time, we'll move into agenda item number 6. These are items for individual consideration. 6.A, discussion and action regarding the compensation for the municipal court judge and the associate municipal court judge. Mr. Alexander's on here. Ms. Gordon. I caught myself. I even wrote it out.
You did.
I was
I
like,
appreciate that, Mayor. Yes, so the item before you this evening is to discuss and act on compensation updates for our municipal court judge and our associate judge. Both our judge, Tim Hartley, as well as our municipal court judge, Roy Stacy, were reappointed last month to serve as our municipal court judges to assist with our municipal court operations. And so as a city, we have been reviewing our municipal court operations as a whole, which also included looking at the compensation of both our judge, associate judge, and prosecutor. And so in doing so, we reviewed some operational items as well as studies from comp cities and realized, we were a little bit below market. And so we want to make sure that we are remaining within market for our pay for our hardworking municipal court judge and associate judge. During our budget, we also accounted for potential increases in pay for both of these positions. And so this evening, we are recommending an increase from $175 hourly for their services to $200 an hour for their services. We are recommending approval of this item, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
very good. Thank you, Ms. Gordon. And I will say, these gentlemen have worked diligently for the city for many, many years. In fact, at one time, they were volunteering, and then they were paid again. So they really do have servants' hearts, and I do appreciate everything that they've done. And I do think that this is still a modest appreciation for what they do for us. So at this time, we will open the floor for any discussion. Very well.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Dodson?
Chelsea, where does this put us on the scale with other municipalities?
So when we're looking, every municipal court does operations a little bit differently in pay. Our closest was the city of Fate, which does an hourly rate for their judges as well as their prosecutor, and this would put us in even alignment with the city of Fate.
Okay, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Councilman Mormon?
I just want to say I'm very appreciative of the staff looking into this. This has been very big on my heart, and I'm very appreciative that this happened. So thank you so much for taking a look at it and doing this.
Very good.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Councilman Mormon. This has been something that's been dialogued, and Councilman Mormon did bring this up to ask for this agenda to be addressed, so thank you, Councilman. If there are no further discussion on this item, the chair will open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we increase the hourly compensation for the municipal court judge and associate municipal court judge from $175 per hour to $200 per hour.
All right, very well. We have a motion on the floor stated. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a second by Councilwoman Thorogood. She beat you. All right. All right, so the motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Moving into 6.b, discussion and action regarding a contract with the municipal court prosecutor. Ms. Gordon.
Yes, so just like the item before you, in looking at our municipal court operations, we wanted to bring our rates in alignment. We have an agreement with Paul Liston to serve as our municipal prosecutor. That agreement, initial agreement, was done in 2013, and we have been operating under the same professional services agreement since that time. This item takes the opportunity to update that professional services agreement as well as include a pay adjustment in that contract as well. And so we are recommending bumping his contract from $1,100, which is currently to $1,500 for his monthly retainer, and keeping the hourly rate set as $200 an hour, which would be in alignment with the municipal court judge and associate judge rate that you just approved. Would be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Very good. Thank you, Mrs. Gordon. Yes, over the last 2.5 years, we have gone through lots of contracts and found all kinds of things that need updating. So thank you to the staff for looking into this and looking for remedies to ensure that we're all up to date. So not only the pay, but also contracts. So at this time, the chair has opened the floor for any comments or discussion.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Dodson?
Chelsea, has the rate of pay been held constant for the last 13 years as well?
No, there was an increase in 2024, 2025, I believe, which increased him to his current rate of $1,100.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It just was not reflected in the professional services agreement.
Wow, okay, thank you.
But since 2015?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. If there are no other questions or comments on this line item, then we will move to open the floor to entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution number 260825A, authorizing the city manager to execute a professional service agreement with Paul J. Liston as deputy city attorney prosecutor, subject to correction of any inconsistent signatory language and final review by the city attorney.
Very well. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Councilman Myers. Motion made by Councilwoman Thorogood. The motion moves. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. At this time, we'll move into 6.c. This is discussion and update on current capital projects to include but not limited to the Hubbard Drive project, the water plan, the Town Center Park project, Terry Lane Road rehabilitation, Candlelight Fire Flow, Public Works Facility, trails, and the street maintenance program, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So I have a little bit of a different format for you tonight. Really, this is to provide you key updates for all of our capital improvement projects, specifically as it comes to where we're at in August of 2026. The format that I'm going to be going over is broken up into categories by really these major projects. So right now, what you see on the slide here is road, sidewalks, and trails. And I'm going to cover where they are on their status, the milestones and updates, and any overview of where the projects are at, key updates, including schedules, and I'm going to give you some progress photos along with it. So we'll start here on this summary slide that I have for Hubbard Drive. It's an active construction. It's still an active construction and from last month. And At the bottom here, you can see a legend where we have planning, design, bid award, construction closeout, just to give everyone an understanding of the process that we go through on these projects. I highlighted on the right here some blue items, and those are key updates that have happened. So this is when we've graduated from one milestone to the next. And so for Hubbard Trail, we are currently in design. It's on the developer's timeline now, and I'll go into a little bit about that as we go through the slides a little bit deeper. Terry Sidewalk is now in the design phase. McDonald Trail is in the final stages of design, and the street maintenance program is close to closeout, and we're working on the list for the next fiscal year. So Hubbard Drive, I'm sure we all know where this project's at, but one thing that I like to do is put it in relationship to where the high school is, and it's just right down the street here, outside this building. But Hubbard Drive is a very important project here for the city, and I'll go into some key updates. So the contractor has completed the roadway for phase 1 along with the water line and drainage improvements, and this also included some pavement improvements along Larry Drive. A temporary road is currently being laid. That's what the contractor is working on right now for phase 2, which includes a 2,700-foot linear foot portion, so about just a little bit over half a mile there. They also have had their precast materials for phase 2 placed and staged on site, and we actually held a meeting with TNP to make sure that if there were any beautification initiatives that we could implement on the current project inside the Heath Town Center Overlay District, that we're doing that in specific to the south, the Gateway South area. Another thing that we also did, which you don't see on this slide, is that we are also coordinating with our Freeman Milliken, who is our design engineer for the 2026 fire improvements. And he's looking at how we can connect this beforehand during construction, so that way we don't have to bore underneath the roadway and get it taken care of now. So going into the schedule, phase 1A and phase 1B are essentially complete as of the end of this month. I have a Gantt chart actually inside your packet. It's on page 35 of your packet, and this is exactly the same chart that you have here in front of you. And so we still are on schedule for finishing in December based upon the contractor's schedule. What I want to talk about is the next phase, so phase 2A. So there is a change in the traffic pattern that's going to be happening. This change is actually phase 1B, if you look on the slide here, is that little purple segment just on the very left, and that's about the 1,200 linear feet portion that so far has been completed by Apple Paving. So that will actually cut the drive time significantly. The detour, I don't have it up here, and maybe I can point to it, but the detour actually used to take you around here, and it clips off almost close to half a mile to about 3/4 of a mile as it goes around. So this detour will be for the northbound. We plan on having phase 2A, which is the southerly portion of the road, finished in mid-October of 2026 with a scheduled completion at the end of December for the whole project. Next, I'll go into some photos so you can kind of see the progress here. This is Hubbard Drive. This is taken looking southbound along here. This is a 36-foot wide pavement section that we now have. You can see the broom sweep finish. The traffic control is still up in this photo, but what I want to show and what I want to showcase for this photo is actually the next slide, and this is what the road used to look like. This was June of 2025. So you can see how much of a difference this is going to make as far as safety on the corridor, just keeping the road enhanced for drivability and things like that. Let's see. So this is also Larry Drive. Larry Drive was also paved. You can see some of the formwork for the storm drain, which is crucial for this roadway. If you remember from the budget workshop, I did talk about how some of the drainage improvements would be happening here on Larry Drive, which is going to be key for keeping that roadway and pavement good for years to come. I also wanted to showcase some of the precast materials being stored on site. These are 48-inch reinforced concrete pipe along with some 6 foot by 3 foot boxes. And this is just kind of showing, hey, the contractors ordered the precast materials. Sometimes these have a long lead time, and they've already got them on site ready for their phase 2 progress. And I'll take any questions on this project if you have them.
Council, any questions? None at this time. Thank you.
The next I'd like to go over is the Hubbard Trail. So the Hubbard Trail, and this is the best exhibit I have of it, but it happens to run along this red line right here connecting Heath Golfing Yacht Track 10 to Heath Golfing Yacht Track 14. So if you follow my cursor there, you can kind of see the outline of it. Most recently, we were waiting to hear back from City of Dallas, but I decided to go look on their agenda items at the City Council, and it looks like our trail and sanitary sewer easement, along with the temporary workspace agreement, was approved on the August 12th City of Dallas Council meeting. Our next steps are to coordinate with the developer further to see kind of where we're going to land on this project. It is kind of involved with just both the city and the developer from Heath Golfing Yacht, because we also have a lift station that's going to be decommissioned as a part of that construction of this trail. I have a little exhibit there of that easement that we were acquired as well. And I'll take any questions on this one if you have them.
Very well. Council, any questions? Councilman Dodson?
What's the estimated time of construction and closure on this?
Thank you for that question. So I did talk with Rob. Rob was letting me know that, hey, he's ready to go, but one thing we want to ensure is that this trail is fully ADA compliant, because this road has some areas where water crossings are at, and actually one of them actually washed out. So he said when we're final on design, he can be ready to go and have it done in 90 days from beginning of construction to end of construction.
Okay.
How we get there, that's really the next steps that we have to discuss with them to make sure it's fully ADA compliant for that trail.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any others? Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Next, I'd like to go over the Terry sidewalk. This one's also a new project that I've added here on the list. So we have a fully executed contract now with Luck Design Team, who's going to be providing the professional design services for this trail. This is a 10-foot wide trail. It has two segments, and one is 2,900 linear feet, and the other is about 1,200 linear feet. We had a kickoff meeting this week, actually, on August 24th. A high-level schedule to go over that is we anticipate about 4.5 months from design, from notice to proceed, which took place last week. And once when we get through bidding and advertising, the construction timeline is about 3 months. Sorry, any questions on that one?
No questions, just make it happen fast.
Yep, we're making it happen.
That's fantastic.
I've been talking about Terry Lane since I took office, so 2 years, 4 months, 3 hours, 10 minutes.
So next is McDonald Trail. So we provided final comments to the designer for the construction plans. They're very minor updates. We just wanted to make sure a few things were worked out for constructability. We are also in the process of getting them to update the 4 easement deeds as well along McDonald Road, and that's because there were some small discrepancies between what we're seeing on the plans and the right-of-way plats. We just want to make sure that the easements actually acquire what we need for the trail. So once when we do that and get that process completed, we're going to want to coordinate with the third-party utilities ahead of time, because there is a guy wire that does need to be moved as a part of that trail right now on the plans. So trying to be proactive about that. The city has received the remaining funds from the developer for the construction of this trail, and the preliminary schedule is about 3 months to have those final completed construction documents and easements. And what I will say with that, the critical path for us is going to be get that easement acquisition. And then another 3 months to construct, and that critical path is going to be our utility coordination.
Okay, very good. And then you're going to be talking to, as you're looking at this access, you're looking at the back property as well?
Correct. We are looking at Stoneley, the connection of Stoneley, the 2 subdivisions in the back of Stoneley to this one, the Bristol Valley,
That
correct.
matches the master trail map. Thank you. Okay.
Mitch, did you have a question?
Yes, sir. So just one utility to move?
Just one utility to move right now.
Which utility?
It's a guy wire. It is unidentified right now on the plans, which is one thing that we're asking for to get clarified, and what that utility, I imagine it's Encore, but
Okay.
yeah, it's an electrical line.
And how many parcels on that easement are we going to have to deal with it?
There's 4 easements that we
4?
need to, 4 parcels, 4 separate easements that we need to get.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So the street maintenance program. I have not been here for a lot of the street maintenance program, but I'm happy to show you what we've done with the budget. So a little bit close to $2 million, $2 million was allocated for 2025 and 2026, and we have a remaining balance of $21,000 right now. Some of that still needs to go to purchasing a trailer and a generator for our crack sealing equipment. But as you can see here, I think this shows a tremendous amount of, improvements that we've done here in the city, and that's really what I wanted to showcase with this slide, all the hard work that everyone has done before me, including our previous Public Works Director and our Assistant Public Works Director. In the future, we will have about $900,000 to complete projects similar to this for the year 2026 through 2027. Sorry, what was that?
How much money for 26, 27?
$900,000. Sorry, what did I say? Did I say something
I
different?
thought I heard 100, but.
No, $900,000. I apologize if I.
And again, we talked about this line item, but great job, staff. I mean, we're looking at over 50 roads, more than 60 some odd projects, as those had multiple projects inside of those roads. So, again, John, you're coming into the team, but you're coming into a winning team.
Correct.
Because that's a whole lot of roads done in 25 to 26. So, thank you, staff. All right, moving on.
That was a 9-month stint, 60-something projects. So,
It was a blitz.
when are we buying the trailer and the generator? I like the crack seal ability soon.
We're working on that right now with the purchase order with our, Ricky in our Public Works Department. He's helping acquire that right now, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna try to do that, obviously, before the end of the fiscal year.
Is that through the crack seal company that we purchase the material through, or is that?
I think it's gonna be sourced separately. That's what I think right now, because it doesn't really require a special trailer or a special generator, so.
Very good.
Can I just confirm, is that the colored crack sealant?
The colored.
Not the black, but the nice gray?
So, yes, the gray is what was acquired with our crack sealing equipment.
Good. Fantastic.
Next, I'll go on to facilities. I'll talk about the Public Works Building, which is an active construction, and then we also have I put fire station on here, but really it's the DPS stations, number 30 and 31, and EGCM will present that later. So the Public Works Building, just off 740 here, you can see its relationship to the high school up on the top side of the screen. What I want to show you here, and I really want to showcase what's been done this last month, is we have furniture moved in, we have our ceiling tiles put in, we have all of our lights working, we have water inside the building, and I did test it. I did test the water. You'll see in one of the photos I have running water here. But you can see this training room. It looks really nice.
Were you as brave as the mayor? Did you drink it?
No, I not yet. I'm waiting for us to actually move in for that. But you'll notice that there's a partition wall too that got installed here. So this actually is our segregation for the training room. So when there's a training that's happening, the kitchen, everything will still be usable. That accordion wall is installed as well. You can kind of see the furnishing here in the rooms. This is more of a the offices are not that big and not that empty. It's more of a fisheye view, so if it's a little bit deceiving, that's kind of what happened. We also have some additional furniture that's coming as well. Some of the initial furniture that was delivered was the wrong color, so we contacted the manufacturer and had them send the proper color furniture. The window trim's installed. You can see the ceiling tiles have been placed, and the carpet trim around the bottom's also been installed. Then we've also had some improvements here in the garage. The rest of the garage door hangers or garage doors have been installed, as well as the epoxy coating weatherproof material for all the exposed plywood that you see there, along with all the electrical installations that go along that partition wall in the equipment bay. This is a look at the restroom, or I guess the restroom / changing area where you're walking into the building. Now we have all the sinks installed, the paper towel dispensers as well. Looks much more complete than last month. And what you're looking at here are some partitions for desks on the left-hand side, the showers that are used for the bunk areas, and then just another picture of another office set up with its furniture and equipment. I'm ready to take any questions on this one, actually.
No questions. Great job. Great job to staff. I know it's been a long time coming. You know, I love the color scheme. Ms. Gordon, great job. You guys,
I will say, Mr. Mayor, that was a joint effort with our Public Works staff and our Public Works administrative assistant.
and they tried to keep me out of there every time I'd walk through. I'd go, wait a second. I don't know about that color. That looks like that mortar I was not happy with. I'm just kidding. No, you guys did a really good job. Looking forward to, what's our move-in date?
So we are, right now, we're at the stage with the contractor where we're trying to ensure the quality is where it needs to be at. So
Okay.
we, actually, even before the furniture, one thing that we looked at is we actually did a pre-punch walkthrough to make sure, hey, before you get all the furniture set up, let's walk through the area, make sure there's not any exposed nails, drywall screws, anything like that inside the building. We've been communicating with them consistently, actually almost daily. But right now, there's one thing holding us up, and it's a fire inspection. So that's really what we have to take place. And it's not on chief. I just want to make that clear. So what the contractor was telling me today is that he was going to get all the remaining signage for the riser room in the fire areas that need that to pass the fire inspection, and so he was working through that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know somebody if you need me. Call 'em.
Mayor, I will say that we have the temporary CO ready to go, and so we are working to occupy those offices. We have internet coming to the building as well, and so we just want to make sure that although furnishings and construction of the offices is complete, we want to make sure that operationally we're ready to go. I would anticipate that within the next week or two, we can be in the offices, but still have some things that the contractor will be working around us.
Okay, very good. And for those of you that are in the audience or at home, we have staff that have been very accommodating for a very long time and are crammed in very, very small quarters. So this is a great relief. The old building, just for the record, we've talked about it many times, but it was I don't know what year it was, but let's call it.
They got a temporary building out
70s?
there.
Yeah, we've been in a temporary building, but we had a tree growing up through the middle of the home. We had an employee that fell through part of the flooring, and attorneys don't like it when you talk about that. And our SCADA system, that is our water brain, was literally in a very unventilated closet. So this is state of the art, best thing I've ever seen in comparison to what it used to be. So great job.
Yes, and Mayor, I did want to mention the facilities for our crews, specifically our Public Works crews and our Parks crews. This is a huge, like you alluded to,
Sure.
a huge improvement from those conditions. They will have full locker rooms, a bunk room. I just heard that they went out and got a tour of the facility yesterday.
Did they start crying?
I was not there to witness that, but I would assume so. For our Public Works Department, our Parks crew will be touring the new facilities tomorrow. And it is going to be a great working facility for
Yeah.
those folks.
I would assume morale's going to be very high. And for those of you that might have questions, again, and we've talked about it before when we talked about the plans, but the reason there's bunk rooms and showers and other things is not just your day-to-day. So when we have freezes, sometimes we have generators to go out. We have to have people that are manning the stations 24/7. This allows them to be able to do that properly. And so any type of disaster, if you recall, whenever we had the storm, I believe it was 2 years ago, it was my first year in office, whenever we had the windstorm that came through. Again, we had power outages throughout the city, and again, they were working night and day. So this is a great facility, and very much appreciate it. One last question I have is, I know that we had some not necessarily concerns, but we were strategically awaiting some of the pavement or roadway that needed a little bit of a bridge over the gas lines. Where are we at on that?
Yes, so we spoke with Atmos. They did a temporary relief for us, and so added some more material leveled that out for us so that we are able to utilize that without our staff having any issues traversing that. I do believe in September the final product will be put in. So right now it's temporary, but that has been addressed.
Okay, very good. All right, any other questions, Council?
I just want to comment, I went out today myself and toured the facility, and I was very impressed. You know.
Thank you.
When is the tour tomorrow?
For our park staff, I believe it's at 11. I can get that exact time for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, all right, very good. Please proceed.
So here's where we have some really exciting news, specifically with the Heath Water Plan. Water well number 1 is kind of where there's really no update. There's gonna be an update in the fall once when we get the transformer and equipment in. Right now, water wells number 2 and number 4 are proceeding towards 90 to 100% design. We should have that here at the end of August. And water well number 3, along with the elevated storage tank, are very active right now. We actually completed the bid opening today for the well, and we had our pre-construction meeting last week on 8/20 for the elevated groundwater storage tank, or elevated storage tank, sorry. So here's a new map kind of giving the overview of where all the water wells are. I needed this for myself to make sure I understood where all of them are. But I wanted to showcase this so people could see where the whole footprint of all the projects are gonna be. So well number 1, I did want to give an update since the last update you had was that this pump was not operational. We have a temporary pump in this spot. It has been replaced and is now working. The Public Works team worked closely with C. Miller Drilling, which is our contractor for it, and they replaced some bad electrical equipment, as well as they replaced the pump. One thing that we learned in this process is that we do need to have a stockpile of some of these electrical items so that they're ready to go in the future. And so I think when we get our permanent pump, that's gonna be a lot different. But these ones, because it was a temporary pump, we also didn't have some of these fuses or capacitors in stock, and it kind of, the pump may have been bad too, in fact, so it could have been a number of things. But when we tested both out and replaced both, it ended up working. One thing I wanted to go over is the schedule for water wells 2 through 4. So on page 38 of your packet, this is the newest update provided by Kimley Horn. What I do want to note with this Gantt chart that you're looking at is there's about a 2-week shift in the timeline, and that came from needing to acquire the temporary construction easement at the Heath Golfing Yacht Facility at well number 3. So it's not too much of a difference. Some of the items may slide over just half a month or so, but this is a 1-month Gantt chart. For well number 3, it was currently open for bids. That closed today. What I will tell you is we have 2 bids that are underneath the OPCC right now. So we had 3 bids total. Our OPCC for this was about $7.3 million, and so that was great news. The elevated storage tank had a pre-construction meeting, as I mentioned, on August 20th, and we also received a conditional approval to construct TCEQ water well number 3, giving us that conditional approval for the well. Water wells number 2 and 4, very similar update. These ones are not in construction, but we did also receive conditional approval for the construction of wells 2 and 4. Any questions on those before I move on?
Councilman Dodson?
So with water well number 3, we have water well number 1 coming online on or about next summer. When is water well number 3 projected to come online?
Let me take a look actually at the schedule I provided.
Number 3 on the Gantt chart is December 2027.
Gotcha, so still within calendar 2027, okay, for an additional projected.
Yeah,
million
really
gallons
the
or
only
so.
thing changed was about 2 weeks from that Gantt chart that you were looking at.
Gotcha.
Yeah, correct.
Second question, given the long pole in the tent here is always the pumps, whether it's a simplified pump or whether it's one of these big monsters that we're waiting on for maybe a year, is there any way to pre-order some of the components so that we can shorten that cycle in the likely event that we will need a spare and won't want to wait, an entire year before one comes available? I mean, I guess I'd just like to understand, is that possible, or is every pump so perfectly designed for that environment or that well shaft that it's going into?
So I did have this discussion with the consulting engineer, Kimberly Horn, and essentially what it is to get the optimum efficiency out of that pump, yes, that would be the case. So they are sized specifically for how that well operates.
Right.
Now, we are working with them to strategize how we can cut that down. Now, that may be that there may be a change in the efficiency, and maybe we have to do something with that to, it may not end up producing the 1 million gallons per day, but that's what we're shooting for.
Right.
And we want to come up with an objective with Kimberly Horn to be able to still hit that 1 million gallons per day, but also have the equipment ready. So we're working with them right now. I don't have an answer on that.
That's
specifically.
fine, and the fact that you're on it gives me great comfort, because I know you'll run that to ground. But, you know, we've been caught here as a city without a pump at one point in time, and it cost us a lot. And with our demand increasing, and with our dependency on these wells certainly increasing as well, we would do really well to try to limit that creep that would happen.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I stand corrected. I was looking down at your raised storage. Your raised storage is December of 2027. Your well is April, due to the lag on the.
April of 08, of 28? Okay.
Now, I can tell you this, though, that Mr. Alexander and myself, and I'm sure all of staff, that there have been some meetings here recently with our engineering firm.
Yeah.
Talking about risk mitigation, talking about pulling this stuff to the left. Because there is some staggering. I think it's strategic. I think it's very conservative. I think it's great. I understand why. But the direction is to try to pull it left.
Yeah.
And bring it into 2027 as much as we can.
Well, I know, Mr. Mayor, you got a high sense of urgency, as I do as well, and I think that being able optically to have this available for our use in 2027 would mean a lot.
If we could get it operable by end of July, August, that'd be great. I could get off of Facebook. So.
Then what would you do with all your time?
That's right. No, on a serious note, I mean, staff is working very diligently. I think the engineers are strategically aligning us in a conservative way for the best way to move forward. However, we as a city are saying, hey,
Yeah.
we really need to try to pull it left as much as we can, and look for those opportunities. If there's items for pre-order, because there's no reason to drill a well and then go, okay, it's time to purchase X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple of questions on some of that. There's also a need, and John, it's important that you hear this, is that we need to make sure that our engineering firm looks at the schematics of our towers. We need to be thinking through how the valves operate, et cetera, et cetera. So these are all conversations that we've had. I'm sure you're privy to that with Mr. Alexander and Kimberly Horn, but very much a topic, and has been a topic over the last 2 weeks, and trying to figure that out.
Terrific, thank you.
Yeah, very good.
If there's nothing else, I'll go into our fire flow enhancements. So I'll talk about Candlelight, which is currently in construction, and maybe this is the first time you've seen this, but the 2026 fire flow, the 2026 fire flow projects are in design, and I'll touch on that in just a moment here. So the Candlelight fire flow, in location, the high schools, right over there. Trying to remember what that's Terry Lane that branches off of. Yep, that's what it, yep. And so, some key updates for this project. It is currently at a 50% construction completion. The work began on June 24th, 2026. And right now, we still have an established completion date, or an estimated completion date of December 2026. And I put weather permitting in there because there may be some rainy days in there, but they've been moving quite fast. If you look at this map that I have here, I'm showing how much of the main line, water main line, that they've actually completed boring for. And just most recently, they completed the south portion on Candlelight, which is, I'm trying to get pointer back. Oh, there we go. The segment right here, and they also completed on Lemmy Drive, this portion right here as well. So I'll go into a few photos. Actually, one more important update is that they are going to connect the 8-inch actually to the main line tomorrow. That's one of their items that they're going to do during the day. Here, I wanted to showcase some of the construction that they're doing. You can see one of our brand new shiny fire hydrants right there in the photo, along with crews working in this spot. They're using a soil displacement hammer to bring that connection, that blue tube that you see over there on the left, over and underneath the roadway. So there's no open trenching going on our pavement. They're doing this all underground where they're driving in and they're pulling that the HDPE line back through. And what you're also looking at is one of those corporation stops right there on the HDPE line, showing that connection that's going to end up going to servicing these homes for water service as well as irrigation service. So the last update I have is for the 2026 fire flow projects. This is a location map. It's also, a different one is provided in page 39 of your packet. In discussing these projects with Freeman and Milliken, they will be at 30% design at the end of this month. So right now, we're expecting all these green projects to have a construction notice to proceed at pretty much the end of the year. The two other projects, 6 and 4 that you see on here, Hilltop Estates and Las Lomas Loops, are a little bit more complicated because they are next to bodies of water. So we're trying to make sure that when we install those, we're doing it correctly and we're not causing any issues with those bodies of water, because one actually loops around an entire lake, and we're making sure we have the proper offsets from it for construction, as well as the Las Lomas one's a little bit complicated too, because it does go through a tree line, and we're trying to conserve as much of the trees in that area as possible, and trying to find the most optimum alignment to ensure that doesn't destroy trees in that route. Any questions on this one?
No questions. You said that the engineering firm plans to be done by the end of the year?
Yes, yeah. Well, at least for these, the ones in green. So the other ones, the red and the two red ones, number 6 and number 4, we're working with them right now to, really where it stands is we're looking at those alignments that they provided, ensuring that that's not going to cause any issues. So they're relying on us to do a little bit of background work. That's kind of where we last left off. And so in order to get those moving along, we just have to review everything to make sure we're not demolishing too many trees or causing an issue with those water.
All right, very good. We're going into year 3 on this project, so let's make sure that we continue to push this engineering firm to get this done. This was when Councilman Dodson, myself, and Councilman Moorman came into office. We were acutely aware that there were so many different neighborhoods that actually didn't have proper fire flow. For those of you that are listening at home or those in the audience, this goes back to whenever we took over the Forney Lake water supply area. I would just say that we might have missed a few things in the due diligence process to understand what we were getting, and we did not have a plan to tackle this. So I'm very proud of the staff and the work that you guys have done, and the legislative body to approve these things. But we got to be reminded that these are areas without proper fire flow. So anything that we can do to continue to progress this as quickly as possible would be great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And that's the end of my update.
Thank you very much. Great job. I saw into an engineer's mind in that presentation. That was great. Is that your first presentation in-house? I like it. Very exciting to have an engineer on staff in the city of Heath, and we're very proud to have you. All right, moving into agenda item 6D, discussion and update on the construction of DPS Station 30 and 31. Chief Siri.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I have Marcus again from AGCM to do a presentation on the construction of 30 and 31. I think the most exciting thing that I'm happy to tell you is Thursday the contractor will be on site for 31 to start going vertical with that building. So.
Terrific.
Very good. On site, on budget, under budget?
Under budget.
Okay, all right.
Not yet, not yet.
Man, I set the bar high. All right, well, good luck. Good luck in the rest of your presentation.
Now let's get into the bad news now. Okay. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for me allowing to present. Just a quick brief update. Really, the biggest thing to discuss on this is there was a 36-day time extension added for Heath Station 31. Really, it was just completion. We were planning on completing in the beginning of, or the late March. Now it's just going to be late April for substantial completion. That's basically the contractor incurred roughly, with the delay of the select fill and then the moisture issue with the piers, it was a cumulative total of about 87 days, and really they just claimed the 36 days, which was truly the unforeseen factor. The coordination with the select fill was something kind of self-imposed, so to speak. But overall with that, everything is looking in good health, budget, schedule, and quality.
And one thing is, he's still trying to work to get those days back.
Yes, yeah, we still we're thinking that he's gonna be able to tighten it up from there, but we're just still showing where the furthest out that we anticipate for that project to be turned over. So projects, Station 30, we did have our test piers, completed on Friday. So right now, we got, the building pad's complete, and just right now, all we're doing is working on underground. This was, I believe, the 8-inch fire line loop, primary services in place, and then just all the branch wiring and branch lines for the for electrical lighting and everything. As well, we do have our fire hydrants in place, and then we did pour this head wall, which was the main drainage channel for the fire lane entrance for the site. That was poured on Friday last week as well. So this project is looking pretty healthy, finally moving forward. Hopefully by this week, we'll start getting some piers ongoing. And then by next meeting, we're hoping we'll have formwork and getting really close to approaching the slab pour on that. And as well, you'll note that there is, we do have all the structural steel package on site ready to go. Just need to get fire lanes in place and then a slab in place to be able to put it on. And then still coordinating with franchise utilities. The biggest one right now on my mind is Encore, just working, getting that easement. I think we got like 20 feet of easement with the high school, and then branching through the EDC and then crossing the street, roughly where that colored concrete is. Going to be a little bit to the left of that. Then going into Station 31. Chief stole the great news. We poured on Wednesday last week, so we're just waiting on the 7-day break to make sure that we meet design strength, and then we're getting ready to roll on the steel. So by the time we have this next meeting, this building should be fully enclosed, watertight, to where we're in a great shape on this site. We got all our fire lanes in place. If there's any rain event, it's really going to be maybe a 1-day impediment, and then we'll be able to get back out there and going. So
That's fantastic.
we're just going to be moving really fast once we get out of the dirt finally. And then really, we're planning on pouring out this, here we go, this section. We're going to pour all the way up to the TxDOT line through the right-of-way. We're still working on the permitting process on that, but that's just going to be the one little aspect remaining on the paving. And then, of course, we still have sidewalks and everything, but we don't really complete that work until the tail end after masonry and all your major work is completed.
That should be poured tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow morning,
okay.
the driveway.
So, and then exterior elevation, so that's pretty much our final rendering. There is some slight modifications on the lettering and accent bands, but this is pretty much the color scheme that looks like, but this is actually what we finalize the selection. This is the metal panels. This is the white, I believe this is the onyx with the gray mist stone, and then the Spanish stone with cobblestone. And there is no board and batten on this on this side.
And there's no amber.
No amber. No, sir. We did even
That
have.
joke's never gonna get old.
I didn't want to bring it up this month.
That's right.
Just to be clear on this, Susie, you can see the final rendering, it doesn't really match the approved on-site mock-up. So if you'd like to see it, it's out there, but those are the colors there on the right-hand side, and that will also be a representation of Station 30. They're gonna be identical
Yeah,
buildings.
it looks really good.
So they're out there, if you'd like to take a look.
Okay.
Schedule update, as you can see, the baseline, they just had to reconfigure some scheduling, so there is slippage, but still they're tightening it up as much as possible. And then payment updates, Station 30, basically for the design cost, 93%. Construction costs, this is basically billed for up to this month, about 22%, and really one of the big components on that was structural steel and the pre-ordering of the, or the prepayment for the elevator. And then for Station 31, 100% on design cost, and then we're almost getting about 40% for all the foundation work, and continuing on with that. And that's all I have for today.
Very good. Any questions, council?
So Chief, does that elevator just go right to your office? Is that like?
It goes up to the second floor.
Okay,
to the
that's
conference
the,
room.
all right, that's the setup you got going?
It's a secured elevator.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and as a good reminder for the record, just for anybody that's listening to this for the first time, we've talked about it a number of times, but this is within the bond that was originally issued, and we originally in the original plans was one station. So I just want to continue to remind everybody that we were able to expand that to 2 stations, thanks to the hard work of Chief Siri and really doing his due diligence to figure this out, and allowing us to, once these 2 stations are up, move out of the city hall. So again, I'll continue to say that. Thank you, AGCM. Great job. The last question I have is for Chief on the gas line. You guys are going to be working with EDC on bringing gas in, because they're going to be working with 1880 to bring in gas?
Yes, sir, that's correct. I believe the EDC may have already had some funds available for 1880 to do that, and so Marcus has been, we're waiting on some CAD drawings to get those of Cooney, of all of Cooney, so that we can get that to an engineer, so it can be formalized and a plan drawn to get that gas there.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
So
We will
collaborating
possibly-
with EDC.
Yes, sir, collaborating, yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Hey, Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Obi?
a couple questions. Do we have a timeline on when TxDOT's gonna claim or not claim some of our frontage?
It's just, we already have the permitting, it's just finalizing the traffic control plan and shutting down the lane for about a week to.
Yeah, so as they widen 740, do we know if they're gonna take any?
Oh, I do not, I
Front of
believe
ours?
we designed it to.
We did, I put it, the building is 109 foot off the roadway. So we accounted for any kind of futuristic plans if they were to widen that road.
Right.
If that were to happen, that we would still be okay out there.
So they may just take some of our concrete?
They could do that
Yeah.
and then put it back, but our offset of the building
And they'll
is
fix that
sufficient.
at that time, yeah?
Yes, sir.
And they were actually already out there installing the electrical pathway for the traffic light that's gonna be on 740 as well.
Another great point on that is the traffic light, and also for McDonald and 550. That is up just in relation to this project as well.
And we'll have some flashing lights at east and west or north and south?
Yes, so
There's a
ours
fire
will
station
be
connected.
just an emergency light, so it'll just flash yellow all the time, and then once we get a call, they hit the button, it'll turn it to a red light.
Perfect. Last question from me. Go back to that last slide.
Oh, wrong way.
Are we gonna be able to have the flags at the same height?
Yes, sir.
It's a Texas
That's-
thing.
That's gonna be a Grossman design, probably.
Very good.
3D,
They
whatever
will be
its
lit as
software
well,
is.
so.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah,
Going throughout the whole night too.
yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief. If there are no other questions or discussion items on that, we are moving to an adjournment at 7:38. We are adjourned. Thank you, council.